I'm starting to think this was a bad idea. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the far eastern fells of the Lake District. And Monty boy here and me are going to be doing 4 Wainwrights today. We're going to be doing the iconic High Street, as well as Rampsgill Head, High Race and Kidsty Pike. We're starting out here in Haweswater, and as you can see it's a lovely day. And this whole walk is about layers, about what's underneath, what you can see, and it starts right here. So come on, let's get on our way. If you're new here, welcome. This is Hilltop Hiker, bringing you walks that go a bit deeper than the route. The history, the landscape, the things most people walk past. There's a personal reason I make these videos too, but you'll pick that up as you go. Haweswater back there used to be a valley and home to the village of Mardale Green. And in the 1930s, Manchester's growing population needed more water, so they built a dam there and flooded the whole valley. So the church, the farms, the inn and the houses, they all disappeared under the water. And when the water levels drop in dry spells, you can see roads, walls and even the odd bridge or two. It was frosty this morning, but it's due to be a hot day and I can already feel it. Oh, this is absolutely stunning. There's nowhere else I'd rather be now than right here. So we're just approaching Blea Water, and then that up there is where we're headed, up to High Street. Wow, how beautiful is that? So I'll go back to A-level geography, which was my favourite subject by the way. And this here is a corrie, which is basically a bowl carved out by glaciation during the last ice age. The ice remained here for thousands of years, grinding into the rock and scooping this hollow out. And then when it melted, it left this behind. Look at the shape of it. It's really impressive, isn't it? Can you imagine all this covered in ice? This is absolutely stunning. The water's like a mirror. Well, we could stay looking at this all day, but we've got to get all the way up there. And we've got to carry Monty up as well. Come on, let's get going. Right, here we go. This is where the hard part starts. And this is where I question whether carrying a dog around 4 Wainwrights was actually a good idea. He's totally fine with it, by the way. He's loving life. This is his first expedition of a Wainwrights. Hopefully the first of many. He's only 16 weeks, so he can't walk very far. But we'll get him out when we get to the top. I'm starting to think this was a bad idea. Oh, look at that view. Wow. So that there is Riggindale and Riggindale Beck that flows all the way down into Haweswater. What a beautiful view. Oh. We're getting there now, aren't we? Come on, we can do it. Another steep section to come. Whew. Almost there now. This is more like it. We're on the flat now. My shoulder and my back. I'm really feeling it from this carrier. But Monty, he's absolutely loving it. He's just raring to get out of the carrier and stretch his legs. Now look at that for view. You can see Haweswater down there. And just make out the car park there with the cars glistening in the sunshine. And then Blea Water there. What an absolutely glorious view. In the distance over there we can see Ingleborough and its distinctive shape. And Whernside will be there to the left as well, although it's not quite as easy to make out. And in the distance there you can make out Pendle as well, and both of those places we've recently visited on the channel. Yay, we made it! Here we are at the top of High Street. Alright, so we made it up here, and that was hard work, I'm not going to lie. And right now we're walking across High Street, which is not your standard fell name, is it? 2,000 years ago this wasn't a hiking route, it was a Roman road, and it linked the Roman fort at Brookhaven near Penrith to Galava at the head of Windermere. And instead of going through the valleys, which were marshy, wooded and very difficult to control, the Romans brought the road up here along the ridge. And although it's harder on the legs, especially if you're carrying a dog, you can see why. Because up here it's more exposed but also a lot more predictable. You can see for miles, you can move troops more efficiently, and you can avoid ambush, unless the clouds down that is. And Wainwright says in his guide that it's a bit dull up at the summit unless you're blessed with imagination. But I'm not really sure if I agree with the big man on that one. I mean, just look at it. You've got all those views of the sea, the other fells, and Haweswater down there in the valley. It'll definitely do me. This place is also known as Racecourse Hill, which dates back to when the local farmers used to meet once a year and exchange sheep that have wandered into the next valley. They used to make quite an event of it. Drinking, partying, horse racing, Cumberland wrestling even, can you believe it? Wonder if Monty fancies a bit of a wrestle up here. You fancy a wrestle, Monty? No, I don't think so. And another great fact is that England's last surviving golden eagles lived up here in Riggindale as well. They were last sighted in 2015 and haven't been seen since. The government's recently announced funding to bring back the golden eagle across England, so fingers crossed it won't be too long before they're back up here again. Up we go again. Now that is a great view down Riggindale there, down to Haweswater at the bottom. You can just imagine the eagles soaring across there, can't you? Hopefully one day, in the not too distant future, they'll be back for all to enjoy. I'm sure if I was a kid coming up here, I'd be eyeing that up as prime territory for rolling down. You might not stop until you get to the bottom though, and hit a few rocks on the way. Ouch. Isn't this landscape so magnificent? It really is breathtaking. Alright, so we're just at the top of our second Wainwright of the day, Rampsgill Head, and you can head over to Kidsty Pike from here, but we're going to head over to High Raise now, a quick out and back, and bag another Wainwright. So come on, let's get over there. Okay, so here we are on High Raise. It's the perfect spot to have a bit of lunch and admire these spectacular views. this is the perfect spot to read my dad's Wainwright guide from back in the day when it cost 90p. Okay, so we're just heading down from the top of High Raise. That was a lovely spot for lunch. I probably stayed about half an hour longer than I imagined I would. But on such a sunny day, we're not in a rush, are we? It was so lovely just to sit there with the sound of the skylarks, looking across the fells, reading my dad's old Wainwright book like he once did. So right now we're heading over to the final Wainwright of the day, Kidsty Pike. We've got Monty back in the carrier again. He's done his fair share of walking. I think he's ready to put his feet up, put his paws up and have a bit of a nap. If you're enjoying this walk so far, why not give it a like? It helps more people join us out here. And honestly, would you carry your dog up here? I'm still not convinced it was a good idea. Okay, so that was Kidsty Pike completed. Monty's now done his first 4 Wainwrights. He's walked for a little section of it at least. But hopefully these are going to be the first of many to come. We've still got to navigate our way down. So let's hope that in the end it turned out to be not so bad idea to have brought the little man. There's Ingleborough again, just in the distance, above the U-shaped valley over there. I love how dramatic it is around here in the lakes and how you can see the distinct features of glaciation all around. The little man's in a deep sleep now. And that little bit of walking and all the drama of me getting him to the top of High Street. He's in doggy dreamland, dreaming of bones, walking these paths, and me panting away, hauling into the top of the Wainwright. Well, as you can see here, there's nobody in front of us. We've seen a few people, quite a few in between High Street, over to Rampsgill Head and Kidsty Pike, a few on High Race too. But on the way up to High Street and coming down here, we've had the pass all to ourselves. Okay, so that's where we're headed down there. Got a steepish descent and then round the back of those trees over there. So that's the trickiest bit of the descent done, and we're now on these green paths, which are a lot more easy to navigate. AW would love today. It's an absolutely glorious day. It never really feels easy whilst you're doing it, especially when carrying a dog around. But days like this are exactly the ones that you want more of. If you're thinking about doing this walk, I definitely recommend it. It's well worth the effort. So that's 4 Wainwrights, a glacial valley, a Roman road, Cumberland wrestling, and a village that now sits beneath the water. And I think that's what makes a walk special. It's not just the views, but all the layers that sit below them. And Monty boy, that's his first 4 Wainwrights done. He's probably the first dog to be carried over High Street. And I think he'd definitely do it again, but I don't know if I would. Thanks for walking with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you along as always. If you enjoyed today's walk, I'll see you over here on the next one. And if you want more walks like this, with history, depth and meaning, and me carrying Monty around, then subscribe and come along. You're always welcome out here with us.